Oh, this one's a child molester.
Yep, don't do it, kid. This will haunt you for the rest of your days.
Come on out. Ironically, in his clown mobile, he could fit a lot of kids. All right, so fuck it. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, 1988. The people have spoken, and what they demand, Adam, is us to talk about Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So here we are.
Here we are.
So I guess let's begin with your history of the movie. It came out in '88.
Yeah.
Earliest memories of the movie.
I think the first time I saw this was when I was in high school because I graduated in 92. So I think I saw this around 90, 91. I did not see it in a movie theater because I don't recall a movie like this even being advertised in a movie theater. I think this is one of those movies that kind of developed some kind of an underground following in the years to come. But I remember seeing it like 90, 91 and just laughing at it. And I think the early 90s was when I first discovered that really liked genuinely badly made movies. I discovered that something that is like corny enough to where you can laugh at it and appreciate it for just being slightly self-aware. And our early memories would be like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. I discovered all those in the early 90s, and then it kind of became a ritual for me to go to the video stores and just look for the most horrible fucking video out there possible, take that home, and then hope that we would find something like Killer Clowns.
Yeah, I kind of miss those days, and I feel like it's gone. It's changed, but also it's gone because you're not looking at. There's something to be said about physical media where you go to a video store and you look at it and you go, "What the fuck is this?" Every
The
Puppet Master
package art,
movie.
definitely the pull quotes on the back was a bonus for me.
Yeah,
Also, the fact that most of the movies that you watch, the more elaborate the cover, like the cheaper and cheesier it was. Like they would put all of the money and marketing into the package.
yeah,
You remember when they had some of those packages that would light up and make noises and stuff like,
yeah.
especially the horror section? We always gravitated towards the horror. I mean, me, early 90s, late 80s, that's it's all you cared about was horror. Like straight up horror was where everything was at. So
Yeah, there wasn't really like an indie film for drama, sci-fi. Like it was all horror.
sci-fi was kind of like that was you weren't allowed to talk about sci-fi because I come from a time where if you were a nerd that was a bad thing,
Yeah,
like you wanted to keep that shit in the closet so that you didn't get labeled a nerd and get picked on in high school. But when it comes to horror, like even the jocks would like get into the horror. They would go to the fucking horror movies.
well, they were part of the collection of people in horror movies. So you always had the jock, the virgin, the
Right.
dork, the
You had the Breakfast
yeah,
Club ensemble in every horror movie, pretty much.
exactly. This movie, it's one of my first favorite movies I mentioned during our review. I don't know if it's going to make the edit, but one of my first favorite movies. I probably saw it at the same time you did, 91, 92. Whenever I hit HBO and it started hitting the
Yeah,
rounds.
HBO at night. So they used to play some great shit on HBO at night, man.
Yeah, but this was on all the time. And I remember I recorded it on a VHS, and I scratched over wherever mother's wedding, and I record Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I remember it was written in my mom's handwriting, and I would just sit there and watch it.
Swimsuit episode number 3.
Yeah, because my birth, fuck it, Killer Clowns. I didn't give a shit, but I would just sit there and
Graduation.
watch this over and over and over, and I'm like, it's one of the rare movies from my childhood where I watch it as an adult and I have the exact same reaction. Where I'm watching it and I'm laughing and you're watching the gags and you're watching the absurdness of the plot. Most movies as a kid, you watch it as an adult and you're like, oh, I see this differently now, and either for good or for bad. This one I see the exact same way. I enjoy it all the way through. I think I enjoy it more now as an adult, actually, because I realized how self-aware they were and how much they're making fun of or paying homage to 50s sci-fi movies
Yeah.
of that time, which I'm sure the writers grew up with and everyone involved did. And that's kind of why I think it's a fascinating movie for me, is that it's a throwback for the people who made it. So similar to if we were to make a movie now, 80s would be the obvious go-to point. And that's been done to fucking death now, though. But I really do enjoy this movie. I genuinely enjoy it.
You know what's interesting about this is considering when it came out. Okay, a movie like this could have gone in one of two directions. It like okay, we're gonna have Killer Clowns. We go for super gory, all right, like just absolute gore everywhere, and these clowns are just psychopathic, terrible, awful things. Or we have like a lot of gratuitous boob shots, which I'm not discriminating against. I love gratuitous boob shots. I don't think I can drive that home enough. But
I don't.
this movie abandons those two tropes
It does.
right away.
It went PG-13. It went...
And it works. It makes it kind of charming.
All the violence, they went for 1950s, both in terms of their references and in terms of their sentiments. It's very tame. There's only a couple scenes. The most gratuitous shots, honestly, he knocks the guy's head off. That's not even that graphic, though. But like he puts a straw.
It's cartoonishly violent.
He puts the straw in like the cotton candy thing, and he drinks the guy, and you see like blood, and that's not nothing. It's nothing.
A little bit, yeah, just a little bit.
But you sit there. It's the way they did it. I'm just like, ugh. It works without
Honestly,
showing too much.
Gremlins is probably gorier than Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know.
Yeah, it's. And just to say, during our screening, I tweeted to Chris Titus about how we want a clown car, and that motherfucker never got back to me. Maybe if they didn't announce their presence with streamers, they'd be fine.
I'd like to bang in the back of that car.
Or that ball? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bang ball.
www.bangball.com. So, Christopher Titus, if you're watching this,
I want a clown car.
We're waiting. We're waiting. We want a clown car, and we want you to help us get it. It's a very simple task that you can do for us, Christopher Titus.
I'm a huge Christopher Titus fan. So much so that when I saw him perform, I went. He was in a stand-up live down here in Phoenix a few years ago, probably 5, 6 by now. But he did 2 sets. He did a new set one night, and I went to that. And the next night, he was redoing his Norman Rockwell is Bleeding, which is like his first stand-up set.
Yeah,
that was huge for me because his life is a lot like mine. So I went and I watched it, and I'm sitting there by myself because nobody else wanted to go or could go, and I was sitting there crying, literally tears coming down my face. And like, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm here while he's doing this set that it meant so much to me growing up. And now he won't respond to a tweet about a clown car. And I got tears again, Titus.
Heart, Christopher Titus. Come on now.
Yeah. The show Titus on Fox is great. I love that show, but he's barely in this movie.
I remember watching some episodes. It was quality entertainment for sure.
I didn't realize that was him in this movie, but when we were watching it during our screening, I was like, that looks like Chris Titus. Ha ha ha. And then I looked it up and go, oh shit, that is Chris Titus. I had no fucking idea. I had no idea. Because everyone else looks like the main character, the cop, the sheriff, whatever the fuck he is, one of the main characters, looks like Andrew McCarthy from Mannequin and Weekend at Bernie's and all those. He looks like him.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you feel like a dick when you found out that really was Christopher Titus? And you like, oh, the guy looks like Christopher Titus. Ha, 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 ha.
No, I wasn't making fun of him. He genuinely looked like... And now it makes sense that he did because it was him. Is Gina Davis attractive?
Wow, check that out.
He looks like Chris Titus. It's a really simple story. I mean, we can't talk for too long about this because it's so simple. So, we got our couples in the beginning. They're making out. They're doing a 1950s and 1980s thing. 1950s and 80s are very similar, where it's make out point, and they're sitting there making out.
Talk about 1950s, 80s, that reference, because you're the only person I've ever known in my entire life that has pinpointed that reference after I thought of it.
It's
kind of like what we're going through now with this 80s nostalgia.
Every Stephen King book and movie is set in 1950s, 80s, where he wrote the book in 1980, and it has modern technology. It happens all the time. You'll see it, modern technology. But you notice the clothing and some of the cars are very old 1950s. The music is kind of doo-wop. And you're like, why does this have a throwback to 1950s feel? But it's clearly in the 80s. And it's this weird, muddled mix of two separate decades that are separated themselves by decades, but they don't talk about 60s and 70s. So it's
Right.
this weird phase where it's neither here nor there. So it's
I
1950s,
remember it
80s.
because I remember that as plain as day. In the 1980s, everybody was obsessed with 50s nostalgia.
Stand by
Movies like
Me.
Eddie and the Cruisers,
Yeah.
Christine. It's a '58 Plymouth Fury. I mean, it just we were obsessed with even the movie not The Stand, the movie It, Stephen King's It, the made for TV movie that came out
I'm saying everything Stephen King is
in
that.
in 90. It was like 92 or 90. Yeah, I think it was like 1992.
It's 90.
The kids, all the kid. Yeah, it was 90. That's it. The kid stuff all took place in the 50s. So there's a
Yes.
lot of 50s references where I didn't get those references because I wasn't alive in the 1950s. Because at one point he goes down in a cellar and he sees Michael Landon from I Was a Teenage Werewolf, and that like scared him really bad, I guess. So
You're crediting with that?
I remember that being odd because I didn't see Michael Landon. I Was a Teenage Werewolf, but I guess that was a reference from the book. It was just kind of one of those
Yeah.
odd scenes that here we go, 1950s, 80s again. So
Stephen King is notorious for he wrote a lot of his 80s books on cocaine, and he would write them, but he grew up in the 50s,
yeah,
in the 40s and 50s, so he would have characters talk like they're from 1953. And you're like, this is weird. Like, they use phrases that nobody uses. Stand By Me, made in the 80s, by Robert Reiner, about the 50s. And a lot of his stuff's like that. But you get that a lot back then. Like, Happy Days kind of started it. I mean, that started in the 70s, but...
Night of the Creeps, it's the same thing. That is totally a throwback.
So
movie.
many.
Yeah.
So many things do that. And it's continuing today. Where you're like, what? I have no idea what decade this is in. And it's always the 50s. Because look at, like, Fallout, the video game's Fallout.
Yeah.
Where it's set 200 years in the future, but it's still 1950s. And you're like...
A lot of 50s references.
Weird.
The cartoons with the scratchy little cartoon guys advertising things. Yeah. And yeah.
So it's a phenomenon, and it's not going away. And it doesn't bother me, but at some point, sometimes I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
Back off, Dave. Open container, public intoxication, littering, disturbing the peace, resisting arrest. These kids are history.
The guy has an actual clown hairstyle.
I know. Like, Tim Burton does this a lot, too. Like, if you look at Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
Well, Mars Attacks is a more obvious, but Edward Scissorhands is 1980s or 1990. That movie's made, but it's very 1950s. Look at their houses and their clothes; they all have the done-up hair, and it's 50s. Like they have dresses on, poodle skirts. He does that too. So it's this weird thing where it's a lot of people are doing this thing, and this movie captures it in a better way, where it's not as obvious. They're clearly going for 50s. But only in terms of the clowns and that sort of movie. But if you're just watching it as a casual audience, you're not thinking it is the 50s. You know what I mean?
But if you watch like an episode of Mystery Science Theater where they ripped on a lot of 1950s horror movies that this movie's borrowing from, you get the references. You always got a really dumb cop. You always got the kid always has a sweater on. The kid in this movie has a sweater on.
Yeah.
A really bad sweater that we made fun of through the entire
his Cosby sweater.
A very offensively bad sweater. It's a Cosby sweater.
It's a Cosby sweater. There's nothing else you can say about it.
You
have to face that
like
fact.
Cosby, it hasn't aged well.
Speaking of 1980s, it's a Cosby sweater, and now we know some things about Cosby. And now he's a hero. So Killer Klowns from Outer Space is. They're at makeout point is the point I'm getting to, and they see something like very 1950s, and it lands somewhere in the distance, and she's like, the main girl's like, let's go find out what that was, and they go, and then we also cut to an old man walking around. He's got his old, what kind of dog is that?
That's
Bloodhound.
Bloodhound, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
A very old bloodhound.
Yeah, that dog didn't give a shit. He didn't want to be there on set.
Adorable old dog.
He's just like, okay. Here we go. Old man finds a tent, clearly a circus tent in the middle of nowhere. He tries to hit it and nothing happens. The dog vanishes. We're not going to go all the way in order. I'm just setting up the beginning. And the dog vanishes and he's like, my dog! And he falls over.
Did you see that little old sky jockey zip down in there
That dog is adorable.
I sure did. That's where I buried all my wives.
Well, this shit ain't gonna bury itself.
That dog thinks he's gonna get killed out there.
What in blue blazes the circus doing up in these parts?
Nobody
Of course,
parts.
it is a horror movie with a dog. Dogs never have a good
Maybe
enemies.
we can get us some
That
free
dog doesn't look like he
passes.
wants to be there at all. Doesn't give a shit.
Dog's like, I know how I end in this movie.
Ah, fuck.
it.
Shit, am I the dog? Oh, god damn it. Okay. Great. How come nobody else around me has a ridiculous southern accent and overalls? Kind of weird. Does he think he's going to fit a meteorite in that bucket? Or is that his piss bucket?
Shit.
If I see a tent like this in the woods, I'm not going in.
There ain't nobody around.
You buried them all.
Fuck this. It's not fair. I get to bury him. He's Rodney Dangerfielding.
This guy is acting.
He's from a Dom Doller movie. Hey, buddy. And a clown comes out of nowhere and turns, like, has some weird gun, some little, sort of, again, 1950s gun. But it also, everything with 1950s they do is also expanded upon by the fact that it works as a clown reference, too. So it's a 1950s, like, death ray. But it also is like one of those, if you ever see a cotton candy machine, it looks like one of those things that whips it. And so everything works in two ways. And that's why I say they do it better, that you're not really noticing that it's 50s references. It works for either one.
All their technology and weapons are based on 1950s circus clowns, and I think it's wonderful.
It's a movie where if you describe, because I had this experience, if you describe to your significant other what you're watching, they go, what? Killer, what? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? And I go, no, it's enjoyable. And they're like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to you later. And you're like, no, you have to experience it to get what it's going for and to get how entertaining it is. And some movies are supposed to be over the top stupid, but while still taking itself seriously and not taking itself seriously at all. If that makes any sense.
That's the other thing that's amazing about this, because I don't remember at any point in the 90s or 80s where over-the-top bad was a thing. It's a thing now. Like, we understand it. We have Mystery Science Theater. We have Riff Tracks. We have, movies like The Room or movies like Sharknado. As much as you hate these movies, they're designed to be bad, but we already get going into it that it's supposed to be cheesy and bad. Back then, a movie was just supposed to be. It wasn't designed to be corny or bad or
meta. Meta wasn't aware. Like, nobody was aware of what meta meant.
I didn't even know the term meta was until a few years ago.
Yeah. And this movie did a really good job of being ahead of the curve, where this is the Sharknado of its day, but Sharknado's way too fucking obvious with it. This movie took it.
They're a little too self-aware. Yeah.
All you have to do to make a movie like this, honestly, because The Room is not like this. This is not like The Room. The Room was attempt to make a drama, and it failed miserably. That's why it's funny. This movie wasn't trying.
Those are always the best ones. When they're trying to make a movie that's serious, and it winds up failing at every single aspect of it. If you design a movie, like I always use the Velocipaster, something like that.
Yeah.
And I made my fellow Raiders watch that. Well, actually, one of our guys had chosen that movie for the weekend to watch. That was his movie. It was one of our guests, and that's something that we do on the show. We let the guests choose the movie that they want us to watch. And then we watched that, and I'm like, you can't design something to be bad. If you watch, it's just going to be a painful experience. It's too obvious.
I completely agree. That's why this movie's kind of an anomaly, because it's right in the middle. It takes its horror aspects seriously and makes fun of itself and doesn't take itself seriously as a plot. The plot is just a simple little framework where the aliens arrive and these teenagers who look like they're 35 try to convince the sheriff this exists. And that's the rest of the movie. Honestly, that's it. That's the whole movie, right?
That's another trope that I'm glad they addressed too, because that's something that I noticed. It's like I get to high school and I'm like, why are I'm in high school now? Why are my fellow students not older looking like they always are in the movies? And I realized I'm like, oh, that's because they always have 35-year-olds in these roles that never look like they belong in high school. And I think that Killer Clowns did that on purpose as well.
Son of a bitch.
This band is not Oingo Boingo.
Yeah. He did it like he said that like he had no control of the outcome. He could have just arrested
What are
him.
you calling in? Nothing yet, Dave.
I hate young
Friday
people.
night's just starting. I'm heading across town to the park. Check in with you later.
Probably out having fun somewhere, fornicating.
Fucking in the back of a hatchback.
Now let's fuck in the back of this raft with my wool sweater on.
It looks warm too. What is she wearing? Like a maternity dress?
You know those guys.
I know, Mom.
My best friend from school. Hey, whenever I want to have a good time, I call Rich and Paul.
Do you think they know we're cousins?
This is called taboo porn.
You broke the raft again.
It's clearly got a hole in it. Someone patched it.
This is great.
I wish you were Gina Davis instead of 80% Gina Davis. Grant Kramer, who plays Mike Tobacco in this movie, which is another just funny name. It's not too schlocky, but it's like, come on. He was 27. The girl, Suzanne Snyder, Debbie Stones is the character, was 26. So it's almost 30-year-olds playing teenagers, and they look like they're
been out of
almost
high
30.
school for a really long
Yeah.
time.
They're about Mike Tobacco's hitting his 10-year reunion, and that he's playing a teenager. So they do that well. But it rides the line so well, and that's why I like this movie. In order to make this kind of movie where it's not too stupid, but it's not, you can go too stupid on either side of that line. Sorry if I'm rambling. I'm trying to make sense of this. Too stupid as Sharknado, where it just doesn't take itself seriously at all. You never believe the horror. You never believe any of the characters. That's one way. Other way is, this is so serious, and I can't believe this is serious. This is a serious movie. Nothing's funny, and everything's serious. And you're like, this is Clowns. I'm not going to believe this. This movie wrote a straight fucking razor line of just
You know what the magical
both
formula
sides.
is you write the dialogue ridiculous, and then you have your actors play it straight.
Yeah.
It's where they always screw up. It's something like Sharknado. It's like quit, pun, quit, pun, quit, pun. They know they're in a bad movie.
Yeah.
Something like Killer Clowns. These guys are reading batshit crazy dialogue as if they're in a serious movie. That's always the funniest stuff.
And they say take it seriously and don't act like you're in a bad movie. Just act like you're in a movie. It's Leslie Nielsen in Airplane. It works because Leslie Nielsen doesn't know he's in a comedy, and he's saying serious dialogue.
Or Peter Graves, you know.
Those two guys, Robert Stack. That's why it's funny.
Yeah.
They're saying lines where they're in a reality that we know, but clearly that the situation that they're in doesn't exist in our reality. So you're like, this is funny.
Yeah.
But then you get to Leslie Nielsen later where they're using him like he's making faces, and you're like, this is stupid because he's not acting like it's real, and it's just too schlocky, and they went too far in the Sharknado direction.
I don't know. I saw Joe Lombardo dead. I can only tell you what I think I saw.
Oh, so now you just think you saw.
No, I know what I saw. I just can't prove it. My proof is gone.
Yeah, right. Turn around.
The clowns in this movie really don't talk all that much. They could have a lot of like really, Catskill style cornbally one-liners, but they once again don't do that. They avoid that trope as well. They use visual comedy, which also makes them. It makes the bad guys in this movie kind of charming.
Can I beep the horn? Thank you.
So let's talk about the gags, the visual gags or anything like that. I guess the first thing that we see is they go in the spaceship, because eventually our two teenagers, Mike Tobacco and Debbie Stone, get inside the spaceship. They find it's all this like crazy. It reminds me of one of the Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes with aliens, where it's just like this crazy, you look like you're in a house of mirrors type thing.
I think we called it Tim Burton's bedroom.
Yeah, Tim Burton's bedroom.
Hurry, step right up. See the Circus Bizarro. Come
Yes,
on,
please
come on,
hurry.
Step right up, little lady. Don't be shy. Don't
It's
be
Tim Burton's bedroom.
Come see the incredible Miss 50-50, half man, half woman. Or right over here, we've got
You are
Belinda,
so gonna
Belinda
get laid
Wonder.
later.
Watch her binge
How
and
could,
purge
I
before
mean,
your
I want
very
to fuck him
eyes.
with this charisma.
Frank, keep it down.
Such
Maybe
swagger.
he'll catch us.
The place great or what? It looks like it was
Or
Wait,
what?
why?
Yeah. Are they not alarmed that this place is here? Doesn't appear to be a business.
In the 80s, everything is either rush or something to fuck.
Lucky guess, dude. I hope I get to stare at that sweater this whole movie.
Willy Wonka! Willy Wonka!
They go in there, they get down, he hits like 7 buttons on an elevator and it takes him down to the bottom level. And then I assume it's the bottom level. I don't really know if it went up or down. It's just my own headcanon. They go down there and then they're looking around and they see some of the killer clowns and they're looking around and they see. And what I love about this movie is the visual flair, because the whole thing is crazy, different color panels everywhere. You could tell they either shot inside an actual like a house of mirrors, those sort of things at a carnival, or they put those up and they just painted them real quick. Either way, it works. But they go down.
What was the budget on this one again?
I'll look it up in a minute. I'm not really sure, but let me finish this point and then I'll look it up. But I love, they have these hooks. They have all these lines running across the basement. I assume it's the basement of the spaceship. All these lines, these hooks, and they look like Christmas bulbs. Those little things, that screw into the actual bulb, or like an actual light bulb. And then below that is a cotton candy thing. There's a sack of cotton candy. And it looks like it's just a big ball of something.
Lucky Rabbit's foot.
Yeah, it did. That one did. And they walk up to it, and they're like, what is this? That's kind of interesting. And they're still playing it. They're still taking it kind of like, oh, what's this? Oh, this is a weird place to be. They don't know what the fuck, where they're at. They pull open the little styrofoam stuff. It looks like fiberglass in an attic. And they pull it open, and they see like a bloody fucking face. And it's pretty gruesome the first time they see it. And that's really the only horror that you see in the whole movie. And then they freak the fuck out, and then they see the killer clown, and they have to leave. His jeans are so tight.
He looks like the type of guy that licks the cream out of Oreos and then throws the Oreos away.
I like that visual of that and how seriously you're supposed to take it from the beginning, because honestly, you don't really take it seriously again in the movie. So it was really important for that first time to realize that they're fucking killing people and eating them or drinking them, or we don't know what they're doing with them. Your kind of imagination's running amok here, because
it goes back to that what you were saying before, how this just kind of goes right down the middle. Like at first you're thinking, am I supposed to laugh at this? Am I supposed to be grossed out or scared? And then you realize that it's all of those things.
Yeah,
it's literally all of those things pressed together in the perfect way.
Yeah, you get it all right away, because you see that face and it's bloody and it feels real, and then they run away and you see the clown come over with a crazy straw, and he sticks it in there and he starts drinking out of one of the other ones, and you're kind of like.
By the way, the inside of that tent looks exactly like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, not
just Tim Burton,
not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from Tim Burton. This looked like the Willy Wonka, the actual
really?
Willy Wonka, yeah.
I don't want to talk about Tim Burton.
Maybe a bit of both. Yeah.
It felt more like, to me, because I hated it. I hated the inside of this. I would hate to be in that room. It felt more like Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
The bad one.
I don't want to be in Tim Burton's Charlie and Chocolate Factory. I don't want to be in that room. Giant Christmas ornament.
It's Carrot Top.
Yeah. Here at the Carrot Top warehouse.
I bet you at least that popcorn isn't stale like the shit you find in the theaters.
Here at Tim Burton Manor. Let's look up the budget. Do you have anything you want to say about the visual flair of the horror aspects and the clowns themselves?
I feel like they spent the money where it counted on this one, because they want to go for visual gags. Let's put the money there. Let's put the money into the set design. Minimalist but effective. Some of these masks are some of the best masks I've ever seen, and these masks are slightly animated. This would have been around the same time that the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie came out. So you get like a little bit of that, where it's like kind of a mechanical.
I was say not animated, but animatronic.
Slightly animatronic, yeah. Just enough though. Like they're not
just the eyeballs,
and they're not completely funny. They're kind of cartoonish, but twisted cartoonish.
This movie does feel more like a real life cartoon than an actual horror movie. which is why it's fun and why it's loose. And this is a movie you could watch, and you're not gonna have nightmares at night. I watched this when I was fucking like 6, 7, and I didn't think of I just laughed at it, and I was like, I love this movie, and I would go to bed and I didn't think about it. I wasn't like, oh, clown. I never it was a fear of clowns, but.
I was going to say, can we talk about that for a second? Because that's kind of important for this movie.
Yeah.
Fear of clowns is kind of something that I feel manifested itself in the 90s when people started making movies like, It and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And of course, we've done so many things with clowns since then with Pennywise and all that. I don't remember, I'm old enough to remember watching Bozo on TV.
Same.
I was not afraid of clowns.
No.
And then all of a sudden, this clown thing. I think maybe part of that we could owe to John Wayne Gacy, of course, but because that happened at the end of the '80s, so maybe that's part of it. But does this movie prey on fear of clowns, or does it kind of add to it?
Neither.
Okay, that's what I thought. Maybe that's why I like it as well. Because, like I said, this is once again one of those things where you could have gone, "Oh, spooky clowns." Because how many spooky clown movies have we done in the past 10 years alone? I can't even keep track of them anymore.
If this movie was made a decade later, they would have been so focused on clowns are creepy, they scare you, and that would have been way too on the nose.
Drooling and bloody and just hissing at people.
I like the fact that what you're mentioning. There's just this big. You clearly has an actor inside. It's a rubber head with animatronic eyes, and the mouth kind of moves. But I think the mouth movement was the actual actor in there. They probably had like a little piece below his jaw that moved that giant head. And I like the fact that they speak gibberish. They're like and then suddenly they'll speak English.
Like those minion things from
Minions.
Minions.
Yeah. They kind of choose what language they're going to speak. But I like the fact that it's like that. They're not trying to scare you with the clowns. They're not trying to. It's more about how are these characters going to get out of the situation. It's not really about how scary clowns are. It's about what are these clowns going to do that's funny when you're watching.
That's where the movie gets really good, because like when these clowns show up, people actually like them. They're entertained by them. They're laughing at them. Girls are smiling and little girls are smiling and waving at them.
Yeah.
They come in and they take whatever clown thing that they can, whatever clown trope you can think of, and then they find a way to weaponize it. And that's the best parts of this movie. I'm sorry, kid, if you're amused by this, there's no chance you'll ever get laid. Yep.
He's baked as
Your
fuck.
lost cause.
I was waiting for 3 hours for someone to come up on this.
You just saw the best show you'll ever see.
Real quick, I did look up the budget. $2 million.
Wow.
It made... I can't believe how much this movie made. Do you want to guess?
No, I can't guess how much this made, because I think this was more of a cult movie than it was a big success. Or am I wrong?
You'd be very surprised how much it made then.
Well, then you have to tell me.
I would agree with you. I would assume it was made. $2 million sounds right. I would assume
a lot of movies that you and I like, they were flops when they came out, and then they found their audiences later.
I would assume it made. I would say, if I had to guess, 6 at the most. That'd be my high end.
Maybe it was enough to be profitable to maybe warrant a sequel, which we'll get to that too.
If you told me 8, I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be like, oh, good for them. No, they made domestic $15.6 million.
Rock and roll, man.
Worldwide, 43.6.
This had to be word of mouth, because like word of mouth too, because like you said, if this come out in 1990, if I would have described this to friends of mine, I'd been like, "What are you talking about?"
I can't believe it made that much money. That's
like a drive-in movie,
That is so many times. That's 21 times its budget. That is crazy. I would never would have guessed that.
I got 5 on the gorilla.
He's sneaking.
Get him!
It's like
Get him!
It's like a King Kong fight. Let's grab his dick.
Grab her ass. Oh, never mind. She got one.
You know, this is true. Nobody had an ass in the 80s. They weren't invented yet.
I was just thinking that.
Let's talk about the clown bits and what the clowns do, because there's a huge middle section of this movie where it's just the clowns running amok on the town. Real quick, if you don't mind, Adam. The two main characters have gone back to the police station. They talk to their police friend, who's a younger guy, looks like Andy McCarthy, and they're trying to get him to go along and come back to us. There's a huge fucking tent in the middle of the woods, and they're people in sacks, and they're drinking them. And obviously, they're like, oh, okay. They're trying to get him to go there. Eventually, they do go there. While they're going to the tent, the clowns themselves are running amok. We have another cop who's elderly. He's the dean from Animal House. And he's like, oh, you fucking kids. He doesn't swear because it's PG-13. But
he hates everybody that's young or better than him, or just everything and everybody. That is his character, 100%.
He does the best job of portraying that 1950s sheriff who's just a curmudgeon. He doesn't want to be involved with these teenager shenanigans. He thinks everyone's pranking him. He doesn't. He clearly lives in a town of teenagers, it's like a college town. It seems like where everyone's an asshole. At the beginning, our introductory scene to him, he's sitting in his car, sees a teenager walk across the crosswalk drinking a beer, and just kind of like, I don't know what he does to him, but he's just like, you fucking dick, like.
Something like that.
These
yeah,
teenagers.
He hates everybody. He clearly picked the wrong line of work. 100%. Yeah.
He's one of those guys where if I sat there and for 6 hours and wrote my favorite movie characters and I remembered him, he would make my list of top 50 characters. But at the drop of a hat, if you asked me to make a list, I would forget him. But he really is. If I dig deep down, he's in my top of my list. I really do enjoy.
And there was these things, these killer clowns, and they shot
from outer space.
Really got away.
Crack cocaine in my neighborhood, huh?
I was just over there. There's nothing going on.
Excuse me, please, but we're talking.
Doing my John Wayne impression. Hope you don't mind.
They say some people are dead.
I ain't gotta do a goddamn thing in my station.
Who are you gonna believe? Me or this little tramp?
Come on, Mooney.
Are they both at the same rank? That's sad. That's very sad for one of them.
He's probably thinking, I used to be in the Outlaw Josie Wales, and now I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna make a dummy out of me.
All right, he says we're on double secret probation, so we gotta go.
That's one of the first tropes that they're addressing too. Is that there's always the trope of the 1950s, but even the 80s movies. Okay, the kids see something, therefore it happened. Therefore they have to warn the authorities. Never stopping long enough to think. If I come to your house in the middle of the night and I say you wouldn't believe it, there's a tent, there's clowns, they've got cotton candy with dead people inside of them. The tent has a basement. It's obviously bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And the first, not stopping to think, would the cops think that I'm on drugs or, am I crazy or trying to play a prank? That's one of the first tropes they address. And
they do both, which I appreciate. Because she does say, like, let's go to the cops. And he goes, and tell them what? Clowns are taking.
And I appreciated that so much.
And once you hit that little itch that you have where you're like, nobody's going to believe him. They go, nobody's going to believe us. They say that. And you go, okay, that's scratched.
Yeah.
And now I'm on board.
It's
and
satisfying. Yeah.
It gets you over a hump of disbelief. So the characters know it's stupid. What they're going to go tell the cop is stupid. So you're just going, okay, they're going to go tell them something stupid. And then the movie never tries to get past that again because the cop's just going, there's not clowns out there. And you're going, yeah, it's stupid. You're thinking that the whole time. And like, he's not going to believe him. Why would he believe him? So it takes you on board. They do. Honestly, I really do think this is a good script. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but it really is.
Especially in the dialogue. The dialogue is one of the stars of the movie, for sure.
Yeah. And the characters, the actors aren't that great, but they're serviceable. They play it serious to the point where he's dragging the cop back to the tent and they find nothing there. And he's like, yeah, great, nothing's here. And that's where that ends. And then we cut back to the sheriff who, if I could talk about this one scene and then we'll get back to the clown shenanigans.
Oh, I can't wait for it.
This is my favorite scene in the movie. So much so that I made it the poster for when we did this episode on Lord of Wonderland, episode like 25, 6 years ago now at this point. This is a movie I wanted to do on the show so bad when we first started podcasting that I was like, oh, here we go. I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, Nobody else is enjoying this.
They don't share my enthusiasm.
Why is nobody
Shame
else
on
enjoying
you.
this?
What's wrong with you?
I want to go back and listen to that episode because I haven't listened to it since it aired. I want to see if they're like, why the fuck did you make us watch this? I've owned this movie for my life.
There's a reason why Shout Factory picks certain movies and remakes them. And this one got the grand release treatment, and it deserved it because it has a following. There's a demand for it. It's
You know what else Shout Factory releases?
That's right.
Clown Shenanigans is what we'll call this segment. My favorite Clown Shenanigans bit. Oh, God, this is tough. The one that comes to my mind quick, I'm going to do two if you don't mind, is Clown pulls up on a trikey, little clown trikey, to a bunch of bikers. And they're sitting there and they're like, oh, look at this. And he pulls up his little trikey and he breaks it. The biker does. And he's just like, oh. And the clown never gets sad. He's just like, oh, you broke it. You broke my trikey. Okay. But he's doing like clown noises. So it's,
Yeah, the music kind of shifts a little bit where it's like, oh, this poor clown lost his little bicycle.
And then the big biker's like, oh, don't cry. And he's like, oh, and he pulls out some boxing gloves. And he's like, what are you going to do? Knock my block off? And then he knocks his fucking head off, flies into a garbage can. All the gang members or bikers scatter. And he's just sitting there. And that's all he does. That's it. Here he is. No butt, no putt, Adam. Grass or ass?
Can I take a ride?
Ass, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free.
It doesn't say that, though.
What are you gonna do? Knock my block off?
Yes! And on this day, I wanted to join the clown gang.
If only there's like a gang or posse you could join for clearly mentally disturbed clowns.
It's timed comedically perfect.
It's perfect.
It's like Roger Rabbit level comedic timing.
That's a
boom,
great.
bang, bang.
That is a perfect comparison, Adam.
Yep.
It really is Roger Rabbit type timing. My second favorite clown shenanigans is the silhouette scene with the shadows. He's doing little puppets. And he's doing like, here's a bunny and stuff like that. And he does like George Washington crossing the Delaware River. And he does
It's so random. It's
all
just
this
stuff. Yeah.
He does all this stuff. And then the people are just like, whoa. And the cops are sitting there watching going, whoa, this is weird.
It's weird because the audience is like this perfect demographic. It's like you see the punk, some old people, some kids, some like yuppies, and
Some
they're
maids.
all standing there and they're all entertained by shadow puppets.
Yeah. Well, they're just going, holy shit. This is like, it's genuinely good shadow puppetry. So they're sitting there watching. And all of a sudden it turns into a dinosaur while our main characters are sitting in a cop car across the street. And they're like watching, like, that's him, right? Should we do something? And then he goes, ah, and he bites like this kid.
But they don't do anything because he's not breaking the law, Phoenix.
Yeah.
There's no laws against doing shadow puppetry in a dark alley in the middle of 1980.
Okay, this scene I love.
This is good right here.
This is the scene I was talking about. It's so funny.
That's fucking clever.
Just drop me off over here. I'll take the bus home.
That's like super cheap CGI.
There he is. I told you. You get out there and shoot him. Get him,
Yeah,
Dave.
just shoot him, guy.
I don't care about the law.
Holy shit!
But at this point, the cop has realized it's real and that this is a real threat. We're kind of skipping forward a little bit. But he literally takes a shadow and bites a person. That person disappears. We don't know how he does this magical feat, but it
really
doesn't
glad
matter.
that the movie didn't do that one trope that drives me crazy, where it's like the main character constantly trying to show the cop that things are happening, and then the cop constantly conveniently missing
Misses.
everything. They get right the fuck into it with this. Like the first cop that they take, it's there, and this shit is definitely going down. So there's another trope that they broke.
Yeah,
Good
it's
on you, movie.
kudos, honestly.
Kudos.
It's, I mean, what are some? There's a bunch of. I know. I think I took the two best, but what are some of the shenanigans that come to your mind?
Well, I have to. Yeah, you took the one that I was going to say. I was definitely going to say the shadow puppets, but another one of my favorite bits was the dog that they have a balloon dog that they
Yeah.
use as a bloodhound. That shit's fucking funny. All right,
Yeah.
and that one comes back several times, and it never gets old to me. They're chasing people with this balloon animal dog that's on a leash, and it's running in front of them, barking, and it's hysterical. It's a very simple effect, but it never gets like less than funny for me. It's something that circus clowns would do.
I remember that the most from a kid.
It's been a while since I've seen this. And the other one we just watched while we were skimming through, there's a car chase in this movie with a clown that's just riding on nothing but air, and he has lights on the end of his clown shoes, like headlights.
And
On
runs him off the road.
and he runs him off the road with an invisible car. Was that a Red Brown yell?
No, because he kept screaming all the way down.
Told him not to fuck with me.
And they did a couple things there where it's like real scene, and they cut back, and it's clearly superimposed.
Yep.
Where
Yeah,
it's like-
green. It's definitely green screens. Yeah.
And they do that, and it's not the best looking effect ever. Let's be honest,
Well, I
but
like the
it
fact
works.
that Shout Factory didn't try to digitally fuck with these shots. Like
Well,
they left
George
them
Lucas doesn't
genuinely
work
like
at
they
Shout
came out.
Factory, so
Yeah.
we don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's a fun scene. And the other one that comes to mind is when they're escaping in the beginning, when they first discover that they're drinking humans and cotton candy balls. They leave, and then the last clown to see him shoots a bunch of stuff at them, and it ends up being popcorn. She goes home.
We forgot to mention the popcorn gun.
She goes home, takes off her clothes, takes a shower, and it's not gratuitous. It's 1950 style, where
We were
it's,
waiting for it. Never happens.
Well,
but we
we
didn't seem
also
to mind.
we also knew that we weren't going to see anything, and to be honest, didn't really want to see her naked anyway. But she gets in there. I rather see Chris Titus. So she gets in there, takes a shower. Outside her clothes, and you see the popcorn like turning into stuff. We don't see what it is. She gets out of the shower, and we see that the kernels have turned into like almost Jack-in-the-Box creatures that are like springy, and they have little heads, and they're pretty sharp teeth. And it's really cool looking. It's silly and scary at the same time, where it looks like a real threat, but it also looks silly.
This is literally every telemarketer I've ever dealt with.
They hop out of your medicine cabinet.
Pretty much.
No! You fuck off. You stay out of the goddamn toilet. One of the little Jack-in-the-Box things comes out of the laundry when she tries to throw something away. One comes out of the medicine cabinet, and then they fuck with you when one comes out of the toilet. And that's all I could think about for the next 10 years of my life is something with sharp teeth coming out of the fucking toilet.
I think that's everybody's massive fear is that you're taking a dump, you're about 3 pages deep into an article on your cell phone, and all of a sudden something comes up through the toilet.
And just either rips your asshole apart or your balls. The things I care about the most.
For me, just touching it would be enough to send me to like therapy for the rest of my life.
It would ruin it for you. I can't even look at my balls the same. They touch that clown, that Jack-in-the-Box clown. But it's genuinely creepy because she's trying to escape like with a towel over her, and she's like ducking and dodging all these little Jack-in-the-Box creatures. And she literally has to do like shoulder maneuvers out the room. She goes outside. So what's the ratio? Is it one kernel of popcorn to one of those little snake creatures?
Never given it that much thought.
'Cause there's like 50 kernels of corn on the ground, and then there's only 4 of those things.
I'm thinking this sweater that she's wearing right now was actually worn by Kurt Cobain when he died.
What the fuck are you wearing, bitch? Why are they so obsessed with this girl? Oh, that guy's got ink. I like how they do something different for her. Ends up being a ball, and it takes her inside. And she's floating in like an orange ball, and they attach it to the car just as the boyfriend and the cop arrive. And they follow this car like the ball in the back of the car, like slapping the back windshield. They're chasing it down. I'm like, this is great. And they chase it down, and they go back to the tent in the woods, which is back now for some reason. I don't know why it left for one character not to realize it's there. I don't know why they left for that.
Yeah, because that's the other thing with these clowns, that they don't try to stay out of sight. Like, they clearly give no fucks at all. They casually stroll into town. There was a really neat scene at the beginning of the movie where they're kind of doing like the Night of the Living Dead type walk, but they're just kind of staggering into town.
Magnets.
Hey,
How
if
do
a
they
clown
work?
farts, does it smell funny?
He's got big old booty.
Baby got back.
Yeah. My anaconda don't want none. Unless you got buns, hon. It's the oh.
It's a smooth criminal.
Make sure you walk at a quarter mile an hour.
I kind of wish that shot would have been elaborated on just a little bit more, but I think they didn't want it to be too on the nose as to what they were trying to parody with that.
It was like
So
a
you
march.
just kind of see them. It looked like this little clown parade, and they're just each one of them has their own like ridiculously stupid walk, and they just kind of casually stroll into town in like a little parade form.
And this is when I tweeted, whatever, Chris Titus, please get me one of these clown cars. Please get me a
Is that
clown
when we
car.
first saw the car? Was it the beginning of the movie, or I'm trying to remember when the car first showed up?
It showed up there. Toward the end is when they showed it again. That's probably when I tweeted in. But the point is, those clown cars is what I want. I want one of those clown cars. They can't cost much.
They're not
cardboard.
afraid. The movie's not afraid to show off how cheesy this car is either. It's got styrofoam bowls on the side of it, like black painted styrofoam bowls.
Yeah.
Lots of cardboard. It's amazing.
It's great.
I don't know.
It's a joy.
A lot of effort was put into this car that gets multiple use too. It's not just for one scene.
Exactly. You could tell they shot the movie. I don't know where they shot. I'm not going to look it up. I'll probably look it up in a second here. But it looks like they shot in a small town that didn't charge them much to close down their streets. You thought it looked like a set, like a backwoods set.
I had a hard time trying to tell if it was a set or a backlot.
I think it was a real street that they closed down, and they shot in some Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1988. They just closed it down and went, all right, we're going to shoot for 2 hours from 2 to 4 a.m., and that's all we're going to shoot. And they did that.
USA, no.
Because it's clearly like the middle of the night. And that's why I'm thinking as it was an actual real street. But they go down, and we see the clown cars, and they're great, and I want one. All I can think about right now, sorry to backtrack, is I didn't get to my favorite scene of the entire movie. I think I mentioned it briefly, but if you don't mind. The clown walks in to the police station, and the elder cop is like, what the fuck do we have here? He's all like, what the fuck is this? Because he's been hearing about these clowns. He's been like, come on, stop fucking with me. And he sees the clown walk in, and he's like, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to book you, and yada, yada, yada. Stop fucking with me. I'm sick of this college town. It really does. The only reason I feel like it's a college town is based on the way he's acting. And he is my favorite character in this entire movie.
He acts like he got fired from a better job and thrown on this assignment, like transferred here. This is like the last rung before he winds up being a security guard in a mall.
Yeah.
You know, he hates what he does. He hates the town.
Hates everybody.
Hates everybody in it. He didn't choose this job by choice. Either that or he did it long enough to become bitter and learn to hate it.
No, it seems like he's a transplant where he's new to this town. He hates everybody there. This is his last resort. He has to be here. And also he fucking hates his life and everybody here. And he resents this town for making him do this bullshit job. And it seems like a college town where he's getting fucked with nonstop. And he's like, all right, what do we got here? And then the clown kills him. Our main cop and main character show up. And the clown has turned him into a marionette. They put rosy cheeks on him, and the elderly actor is sitting on his lap going, and they talk, and he has the lines right here, and he makes him talk like he's talking through his hands through his back, and he's literally making him speak. If you've seen the movie Dead Silence, I mentioned that during the review, during the live screening rather. It's a lot like that, only not as stupid somehow. But they make him talk, and my only regret was it didn't go on long enough. He says like a couple lines, and he throws them to the side. And I was like, I really wish that scene was 5 minutes longer. Yeah, he just shoot it.
Halloween 4, the return, that one was pretty good.
I love this scene. I made it the poster for when we did this in 2014.
Nice.
I did this movie back in 2014. That's crazy.
I like all the footprints in the police station. Reminds me of that blue scene from Arrested Development. The first season's all right.
I wish
Yeah,
this
it
scene was a
gradually
lot
gets
longer.
bad. I was actually waiting at some point for him to like pull a flask out because he strikes me as the type of guy that drinks his breakfast out of a flask.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And, yet another trope that they just decided to avoid. They're like, nah, we won't do that. It's almost like when they were making this movie, they wrote down a little grocery list of things that they don't want to do just to make it unique from everything else that's come before it. And
They
they're
might
like,
have.
let's not have the cop be an alcoholic this time, you know?
If that's, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that's true. Steven Chiodo, please get a hold of us.
Yeah, we'd love to have.
I
him on the
don't want to
show.
make. Clearly, we're not going to make fun of you. We want you on the
No,
show
we love
for a
this movie,
legitimate
yeah.
reason. This movie's great, and I fucking love this movie. I have for 30 years now. So please come on the show. I'd love to talk about this movie, and I'd love to get your thoughts as far as like pre-production, because that's got to be the most fascinating story here. Because production, you can tell what they did. Post-production, nobody cares about. Pre-production, I want to know what you did, what you thought, like what you were. If Adam's right, if you guys really did come up with a list and say, let's not do this, because it fucking paid off if you did that.
Yeah, you made something remarkably unique in a time where remarkably unique was not really mainstream.
This movie came out in 1988. It had every right to be severely stupid.
Yep.
Severely stupid. And it's a movie with the title sounds so stupid, but you watch it and you're like, this is a fun movie. That's all I can say about this movie. I really have no other review other than this is a fun movie.
That's the other thing that's remarkable about this is for a crew and a director that didn't have a lot of stuff out before this. This movie's very competently shot and edited. You know, I mean, we don't see any boom mics. We don't see any, awkward jump cuts or, plots falling apart. Everything has a setup and a payoff. It's not amateurish at all. For a movie with this kind of a title, they took the editing and filming aspect of it seriously. They did that straight as well.
That exactly what we're saying this entire time is this movie takes itself seriously, but it takes its characters not seriously, like characters as far as the clowns. But it also, as long as the characters inside this universe take the threat seriously, that's really all that matters as far as the horror movie aspect of it goes.
You believe it. Yeah.
You believe it.
It's believable enough. Yeah.
It could be the stupidest fucking thing ever. As long as the characters are on board and go, this is a threat, and they say the things they need to say, like I mentioned earlier with the, nobody's going to believe us, that sort of thing. As long as they say those right things, this script is solid. As long as they say that, you're on board and you're following along with them. But
something else I want to talk about that I totally forgot. My particular favorite scene is in the very beginning when the ice cream guys show up and they're doing their little announcement. These two guys decided to buy an ice cream truck to get laid. Because in the 80s, anything you do is to get laid. So
with some chunky
their idea
ladies.
to get laid was to buy an ice cream truck and yell dirty limericks while cruising the area where people go to fuck.
Bestest ice cream in town. We'll give you the stick, you give it a lick, and it'll tickle you all the way down. Ice cream, we brought
To your dick?
these here to you. A tasty treat for while you screw. Icy bicies, fudgy wudgy bars, and everyone's
Sucky
favorite
fuckies.
roaster, right? Oh yeah?
It's open mic night at the drive-in.
I love that you can hear the cans hitting it in the microphone.
Well, you're not getting any.
I'm glad you brought them up because we haven't talked about them yet.
They're great.
There's two guys. They seem like they're fucking, or want to fuck, or need to fuck. One of those options. But they seem like they bought an ice cream truck, like you said, to get laid. They have two chunky women in the back who are like ice cream sluts.
They're ice cream sluts. This movie invented ice cream sluts. It's amazing.
I remember when I first turned 18, actually it was when I was 17. My friend turned 18. He rented me some porno from Mammoth Video. It was an offshoot of LA Video, but he rented me Pizza Sluts.
Hello.
Oh, pizza.
The David Bowie Aladdin Sane up on the. Oh no. And
This is a good way to get baptized into porn there.
it's exactly what it sounds like. This is pre-internet, guys. So he rented me that, and I go, okay, this is great. So when I see these two women, I go, ice cream sluts, and I think of that fond memory of my first porno that was rented for me, and then
It's in the Food Sluts cinematic universe.
and then having to pay my friend an extra $5 because I kept the VHS tape an extra week. Like,
Well, of course you would. Why would
no, I didn't even watch it.
Uh,
I think I skimmed through it and I go, okay, I can't jerk off to this. This is too stupid.
We'll have to play part of that dialogue when they're walking in. They got the ice cream truck going, and then they're saying, "Oh, hey, come get fuck." It's really dirty, but like PG-13 dirty enough to where you'll laugh at all the innuendos.
We thought we'd park here for a while.
You get
You
it?
said
They
we
got the
could have
hefty
all
ones.
The ice cream we wanted, but you didn't say
She's
anything
really
about
going to town on
parking.
that thing.
What kind of girls do you think we are?
You know, chubby girls need love too. I don't discriminate.
Ladies, you're
You want me
ice
to
cream
take us home
sluts. I
right
know.
now? Yeah.
Take it easy. Keep your shirt on.
Don't worry, we intend to.
All right, get out.
Ice cream sluts are my favorite.
My favorite part of those two is there's a gag that runs through this entire movie. I love in-movie gags that are reasonable.
Yeah.
And the
They
gag
don't
with
overplay
this
their
is
games,
they're constantly on microphone. Like they don't know how to turn off their microphone. And they don't part of what I say the script is great is they don't explain this microphone's stuck. The button they don't do that. You just hear them talking to like selling ice cream over the loudspeaker while make out point is happening. And then you hear them like arguing with the two heifers in the back. All of it over the microphone, therefore over the loudspeaker, and they just you get it right away. And I don't need an explanation of why they're doing this, or if they're too stupid, or if their microphone's stuck. I don't
There's
care.
a lot of really good gags that they do with that too. Like later on in the movie, they'd finally decide to kick the ice cream sluts out. But as they're doing it over the loudspeaker. They're like, "These ice cream sluts are no good. They gotta go. It's time you go," or something like that. It's really funny shit.
But do they ever leave? Aren't they there at the end?
Actually, yeah, they leave the movie. At about I want to say like maybe 3/4 the way through the movie, they finally decide to dump the ice cream sluts because they're just baggage. They finally decide they're baggage at this point.
Yeah.
So
They're not
But
getting lucky with
also-
them. Why are they still playing the song? They're still trying to sell ice cream.
it's probably connected to the wheels. Just makes the song over.
It's the metal one of those old metal ones.
Yeah.
It's just on the inside of the wheel.
The house right up,
I love that you can always hear it.
They do car chases with this in the clown car that you love so much.
Yeah.
But when the ice cream car is in a high speed chase, it's still playing its ridiculous, child, nursery rhyme loop while it's playing. They can't figure out how to turn that off either. So
And
it's
that's
constantly playing.
it's a great gag. It's a funny gag. They at some point our two ice cream guys see the cop and our two heroes, Mike Tobacco and Debbie Stone, chasing the clowns. They're chasing them through the streets, and they whip around their fucking ice cream mobile, and they're chasing them. And you hear that music blaring over the loudspeaker, and they're like, "We can't get like," and they're just talking like frantically talking over the loudspeaker, and you hear every second of it. And they didn't do it too much. They didn't do it too obvious. They did it enough where I thought I really enjoy that gag. It's a funny gag, and it works for the movie.
Their ice cream truck looks identical to Sweet Tooth from the Twisted Metal series from the
Yeah.
PlayStation game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was based on this.
Definitely.
If I wasn't supposed to know that, I'm sorry, I don't. And I'm sure people will tell me in the comment section, how could you not know that? Everybody fucking knows that.
Oh, sorry. Here's my review of people in the comment section. Go fuck yourselves. I don't give a shit what you want to say. No, I don't want to say get a life. I want to say I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I
you
never
really don't.
never will look or care what you write down there. So have fun. I don't give a shit about people on YouTube. Fuck
Unless you
you.
like the video. If you like the video and you're giving us some compliments, yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. Because we do put effort into this.
If
work.
you're on YouTube, I still don't care. if you're on something else, YouTube's like a red flag for me. It might as well be like a burning cross in your yard, where I immediately assume you're just a huge piece of shit. But if you're like, no, the burning cross, like on some other platform like Twitter or Facebook, you're like, no, the burning cross for me represents my heritage. Like, that'd be different. And I go, okay, a little bit more credence here.
Piece of shit.
You didn't know Killer Clowns spelled with 2 Ks because it means KKK? They just couldn't think of another C word to put with K?
Didn't you know that the Insane Clown Posse sampled sound bites from this fucking movie in their album, Great Megalo, whatever the fuck it's
The Great
called?
Malenko?
Malenko.
I'm
I'm not proud that I know that reference.
I'm from Michigan, so I have to know every ICP reference.
I'm sorry. That's really a cross to bear.
Fago Red Soda, though. Fago Red Pop? Solid. Didn't they say they're going to kill themselves? I'm still mad they haven't.
Has it happened yet? I'm still waiting. Yeah.
Insane Clown Posse is one of the worst fucking things in the world to me because, A, their music. That's number one, first and foremost. But, B, they said they're going to put out so many, like, I forget what they're called, like, head or clown albums where, like, The Great Malenko, Ringmaster, where they're going to have a picture of a clown on one and it's going to be different. And then they're going to kill themselves when they're done with that. That was their whole spiel at the beginning.
Yep.
And then they just never killed themselves. And
They got rich and they got fat. They decided they enjoyed that Fago Red Pop just a little bit too much.
I can't fucking stand them. And then they become like Christians where
We live
they're
in a world where
miracles.
we can't have Tom Petty, but we have the Insane Clown Posse.
I would trade Tom Petty for every single juggalo there is and whistle the next day on my way to anywhere. I could walk to a fucking like public outhouse and be like, woo, woo. This is a fair trade. I don't give a shit. There's war zones happening. That's part of the trade, and I'm fine.
So all the problems that are happening right now, they're definitely blamed on the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, speaking of clowns, they go back to the tent. There's a big epic battle between the clowns and them and our main characters. They like go through this house of mirrors and like increasingly smaller doors. They eventually go out. They get out to the big courtyard. A giant clown shows up. That's the only thing I really didn't like.
Cheap out, man. They really went all in for the epic battle. I mean, it could have looked a lot worse than it did.
True, but the big clown is the only thing that kind of ruined it for me.
I think it was a little bit too
Yes, but also I agree that they had to escalate the stakes. They had to.
But if this was a Roger Corman movie, the clown would have been made out of silly putty or clay or something. Yeah, this was an animatronic or maybe a stop motion, but it didn't look like stop motion. I think it was an animatronic.
I'd have to watch it again. To be honest, I just enjoy it, so I didn't really think about how they made it. So I'd have to watch it again and go.
It's not on screen long enough to where you get tired of it.
It's really quick.
It's a dreidel.
What the fuck was that, lady?
It's the world's biggest butt plug.
The ice cream guys show up out of nowhere, fly in there in their ice cream truck, save everybody. Everybody gets in the truck and they leave.
Did I just hear a Wilhelm scream? I did, didn't I? No? Okay.
I didn't hear it, no. Everybody gets in the truck and they leave.
It's literally the final boss of any video game. That's what it is.
But there's a scene where they're like, all our main characters are climbing up this little tower thing made of weird clown shit. I don't know. But I think
it's actual clown shit.
They're being surrounded and like it looks like a big cake and they're climbing up the layers of clowns. And then finally they show up and they run off, and it's just very convenient timing, really, more than anything. But they also found out if you shoot them in the nose, they spin around and so they shot the big clown in the nose.
Very cool.
Yeah. I forgot about that really till right now.
They kind of do the same thing that Pennywise did in the shower scene, where when he first disappears down the shower drain. They shoot him in the nose, and then there's like all this light kind of appears, and then they kind of swirl and just go down into the ground and disappear.
Talking about the TV version?
The TV version, yeah. The original, yeah.
Yeah. So that's where it ends. Honest.
Yep.
What else we got to say?
Check out Killer Clowns from Outer Space if you haven't. You're missing out on a really fun movie that came out in a time where things like this weren't made all the time. Let's give it a score. Let's use the cheese curd score. So, what would you give this? 1 out of 5.
7. 7 out of
Okay.
10. Fuck your cheat score.
Okay, Frank.
3.5. So 4.
Okay, so Phoenix. Let's see. We're gonna say Phoenix. Phoenix, you give this a 4. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
What of it? Fuck you. Get me off the big screen. Adam, did you freeze? Hey. Your mic's off.
yeah, this is a 5 for me. I can't really find anything to pick apart about this movie. Everything that I would want to pick apart is part of its charm. So there's no, it's a 5 unless I can find something wrong with it to lower the score. It's a 5 for me. It's very memorable. It's very worth buying physical to own. Definitely a 5 out of 5 cheese curds.
All right. Reason I said 7 is because this isn't just your show, man. We're putting this on both our feeds.
It started off being. I guess we could use your score too, and you could make 2 edits of it if you want.
No.
I'm just used to my score thing. If you want to edit the whole score thing out,
I don't give a shit.
That's not important what we rated.
B Movie Battle 7. Razor Lost Flicks 4. I just want to say, parting words here as we're heading out. Chris Titus, please get a hold of me. I want one of these clown cars. I really want one. I want one in my office for
Every
the background.
day you don't get a hold of Phoenix about the clown car, God kills a kitten. All right, so make sure you do something about that.
I just want one in the background on my office when I do every single video episode twice a week.
No, you want to drive it through a drive-through and order a fucking hamburger in a clown car.
I might do that, but you know,
film it happening too.
It's gonna be in every single episode we ever do. You realize it's gonna be
your new opening. Just you driving through drive-throughs in the clown car. Like, hey,
I might record it inside the car. I don't know. It's gonna get huge coverage. And Chris Titus, you don't care.
Drive up to somebody at a red light. It's like, hey, babe, you like my new car? Huh? You like it?
Yeah. No, you're scared. Why are you running? I hit you. Why are you running?
And then if she gives you any guff, you throw popcorn at her.
Yeah, and that shows up in her toilet later.
Our Ticket to Hawaii, the toilet snake. Yeah.
Where's your bazooka? Oh, she has a shower curtain. It's just as good. I don't think she had to do that at all. Anything else you want to say, Adam? Anything else?
No, I think I see why there's a following for this, and if you haven't seen it, you need to know what the hell we're talking about. There's a reason why this was played regularly late at night on HBO. This and Troll 2 are the 2 movies that I remember being played the most late at night on HBO. It was always Troll 2, and if it wasn't Troll 2, it was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I've never seen Troll 2.
Yeah, you're in for a treat. Yeah, you should watch that with us.
It's one of those big ones I've never seen, and I don't really care to.
It's
just don't.
Ridiculously bad, but it's not boring. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say, one of my favorite movies when I was really young. I still love it. I take zero shame in saying I love this movie. I think if you're hearing the title and you go, just get over it. Just watch it. It's a lot of fun.
The people saying that are probably the same people that do watch Sharknado. You know, like, watch Sharknado 7.
Well, if you're not in the bad movies, you're not in the B movies, just don't worry about it at all. Just ignore it, and you're fine. And
we don't care.
Yeah, if you're in the bad movies and you hear this title and you go, if you're in the bad movies, you'll like this movie. It's not a bad movie though, but it's in the same vein as those bad movies where it's a low budget, it's a fun little comedic romp through 1950s, 80s, and I never watch this movie and go, oh, I wish I didn't watch that today. I'm always having fun when I'm watching it. Is it snowing like clown dust? That's our shit. Killer Clowns from outer space.
This is my kind of schlock.
Until next time, in the meantime, I'm Phoenix West.
I'm Adam Wilcox.
So long, citizens. So long, Nick Cage.
Peace out, Raiders.
# Killer Clowns sequel.
Oh, here, I could do this. I could have an outro. No, actually, no, because this is partly your video too.
Yeah,
So
I'll do an
I'm
outro.
not gonna do the outro. Yeah, we'll blow that off.
I demand a sequel.
Yeah, surprisingly, no sequel was made. But you know what? It didn't bait a sequel either. So
No.
that's the other trope they avoided. They didn't do the infamous. Oh, they're going to be back. You know,
They just blow the fuck up.
but yeah, they
literally
blow
go
into the movie. Yep,
blow the fuck up.
Ends
Fuck
in a
your sequel.
fireworks display.
Yeah. Bye.
Peace out, bitches. We don't want to hear about your insane clown posse references. I did.
Mine was way worse because I was watching the movie The Snowman.
Oh.
If you remember
I
that,
need to watch that.
with
I need to watch
Magneto.
That. That's on my fucking list. Yeah.
I was watching it, and there's a character that shows up, and I took a picture of him, and I put it on Snapchat. I go, this guy sounds like Val Kilmer face fucked a blender or something like that. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, oh shit, that's him. Delete, because he had throat cancer. And I'm like, no, delete.
Yeah, they dubbed his voice
Yeah.
for that. Yeah,
It's
I need
bad.
to watch The Snowman really bad. I heard that was just an intensely bad movie.
They got Val Kilmer's voice kind of like this over top of him. And you're like, why get
Ugh.
Val Kilmer then?